Hi there, I'm Andy, and I've worked on 3 or more film sets in my life. Oh, please, no pepperoni. Today, I want to help you accomplish your goals of working on film sets. With my 16-step crash course goals, you can accomplish your dream. I am not going to be doing that character the whole time. Woof. Hello there. Hi, today's video is going to be a bit different. We're going to be chit-chatting about all the different things about filmmaking and working on sets and stuff like that. Basically, any filmmaker, media creator, anything like that has started right where anyone else has. They literally probably were just filming shit with their boys and we're like, yo, this is rad. Let's keep doing this, but get paid. So today I'm going to be giving, just a few little tips, not tricks for kids. I also have a hat that was a production wrap gift. It's got Netflix on it. It's got Netflix. I actually don't even think I can wear this because it's not out yet. 1 second. See? Still a film person. So the main reason I'm making this video is because I've been working in the business for almost a year now, and I've just I've collected a lot of information that could be helpful to anyone trying to get into the business, or I have film set stories and like some wild stuff happens on film sets. So to start out, I'm going to chat about how I started in the business and how just about any person that's going into production work will have a different route, but I guarantee you it's not as hard as you think. In May of 2019, I graduated from college, and a month later, I went out to Los Angeles to try out production work like full time. I really didn't have any money saved up, definitely not enough to move out here right away. Thankfully, I have friends that are not only in production work, but in production work out here in LA. So they were able to let me crash on their couch and even float me a few PA gigs and stuff. For those of you that don't know just how production rankings work and how to get into them, here's the ranking list. So the universal standard of entry-level jobs for working on film sets is a PA. Some of you, probably a lot of you, because your friends that are watching this video already know about this, blah, blah, blah. You can skip ahead, that's fine. But for those that are interested in how it works, here's the basic rundown. So no matter what, you'll start out as a PA, whether that's a commercial, a TV, film, anything like that, any production or a set, that's gonna be your universal starting level. Production assistants are basically the anything person. A lot of people refer to them as like, yo. Working as a PA, there's not many. Why do I keep doing that? Working as a PA, you basically have to be the anything person for the higher ups on the film set. Sometimes the request can be super simple as, hey, go pick up some coffee. And then other times it can be, hey, drive to Gary, Indiana and pick up 20 buckets of slime. The fuck? That can be the enticing thing about working on film sets. There's no strict structure. Sure, there's overall, hey, we need to accomplish this goal of filming this, editing it and putting it out. But in terms of day-to-day, the structure is super loose. Every day is something new. And for those that like it, such as myself, I said sentence wrong. So if you work really hard as a PA, kind of stay late hours, basically always be a yes man. It can be frustrating, but trust me, everyone that has gotten higher up has done this. So if you work hard enough, any higher up will definitely recognize your hard work and will reward it, because that's pretty much how this business works. Sometimes it's a matter of luck, sometimes it's just a matter of grinding, but either way, everyone always makes it. After you're a PA, you can either move to an assistant to a specific department, you can become a coordinator, which is kind of just the middle tier, and it's never gonna be like a hard cut thing where separating PA work from the rest of the work, because I've had friends that are coordinators, that are even directors of like music videos and stuff, and they still occasionally will do PA work simply because either money or just simply as favors for other people, or simply to just get experience in a department that they're not aware of. You go from a PA to either an assistant to a department or coordinator or anything like that, and then you can move from there to kind of the start of the specific tier And from there, that's when you really get into your specific department interest. So if you're into cameras, that's when you'll move into a second AC or maybe even a first AC position. If you want to be a director, you'll probably move to second AD, maybe first AD. There's not really a cut path. Sometimes people get to shadow others and really gain experience through that. Sometimes people just grind making their own small projects until someone else recognizes them and then skips all the middle steps in between. And then after that tier, that's when you get into the higher up positions. So producer, cinematographer, director. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more in between positions, but those are the basic structure of everything and how it works. With that said, this video is definitely not me claiming to know the most in my field or to have some claim to fame or anything like that. This is just me observing what I've seen, working on film sets and saying, hey, this works for me. This could work for you. There you go. Until all the production shut down and millions lost their job and now new jobs are on the freeze and I don't know what to do. So with that said, how do you become a PA? Whether you have film school experience or whether you know someone in the business, there's lots of different ways to go about it. I think my first job was actually one that a friend had gotten double booked for. So he was already promised to another production. He said, hey, my buddy's looking. He's a hard worker. Throw him on, show him the ropes, cool. So the process is a lot more informal than I thought. Literally, I would just be texting producers and they'd be like, hey, cool, are you available? All right, sounds good. Hey, we need to go pick up this truck. And I'm like, a truck? So the producer texts me the address of the rental company for this truck and equipment. He's like, hey, for this first day, I just need you to go pick up the truck, park it at your place, and then meet us first thing the following day on set. And I'm like, I got you. So I took an Uber over to the rental company, filled out all the agreements, signed some insurance forms that I don't know if I was liable for, but that's the job. So the rental company hands me the keys, and then that's when I realize it's not a truck, it's a box truck. Did I mention that the rental company was in the heart of Hollywood? So the truck's all loaded up, I have the keys, all the waivers and everything are signed, and I pull out and yeah, it's rush hour traffic. And I'm so nervous because if I get a dent or a scratch, I lose the job. That's how it works. So the call time's 5 a.m. the next day. Side note, whenever working production work, always show up early, no matter what. If you're running late, mistakes happen, text your producer, let them know. Just communication is key, baby. Haha. For the first hour, I'm kind of standing around. I know I need to ask people, hey, what can I help you out with? But it's a smaller crew and they all have their own, side assistants or side PAs. And I'm just a general production assistant. So I don't know what to do for them. And then I got to move an Apple box and that was great. And at one point the DP is like, yo, do we have another extra? And they're just like, hey, Andy, you want to be an extra? And I'm just like, yeah, I do. And I didn't make the cut. Well, hi there. I'm Andy, and I'll be your tour guide today. That's not happening. I spent a solid 6 months working in the Midwest, just working production jobs, and again, crashing on certain couches and everything, and there's people across the street, and I think they're staring at me.
What's happening?
What is happening? We got some strawberry watermelon today, guys. Oh my, that is sweet. So there's a few ways to get PA jobs. Step one, honestly just ask family and friends if they know anyone that's in the business and that can hook you up. More likely than not, your first paid job will probably be through friends or through some connection somehow. However, if you don't know people in the business, that's okay because we're in 2020. That's the age of the internet. I honestly would recommend checking out Facebook pages a lot because that's where I got a few bites from jobs that I've worked before. The catch-22 of that is, although there are postings a lot of the time through these Facebook pages, it's kind of first come, first serve, and you really need to have all your elements prepared. So if a coordinator or a producer asks to see your resume, make sure you have that good to go. If they ask for a reel of any kind, whether editing, directing, whatever, make sure you have that good to go. Websites never hurt, so in your downtime, definitely make sure you focus on those 3 things. And it always helps to know your experience level. Never be too proud to admit, hey, I don't know how to do this. I need help. Someone help me.
Help Help me, Mommy, I need help.
All right, guys, the real reason you probably came here, I'm gonna tell you some stories. So I'm gonna tell two stories today. One is a cautionary tale, and the other one's just a feel-good one. So a few months ago, I was working a job with that same crew that I mentioned before, this time for a car commercial. But it was pretty cool because the company that I'd worked with before was actually a nonprofit. So it was kind of a nice feel-good story. The theme and story of the commercial was centered around CP and how it can be turned into a positive thing. And I really loved working on that job because we got to see a family affected by CP and how they became stronger and closer together because of it, and how it really helped them grow close as a family. And I mean, that's the type of content that I'm about. If it's heartwarming, if it makes the world a better place, I love it. Plus, there would be a few times that I would have to fire watch the location, and the neighbors would come out and be like, hey, can we cross? I'd be like, hold on, guys, we're filming. They'd be like, oh, this is so cool. I'm just like, isn't it? I really think production sets are just kind of the universal, ooh, what's going on over there? Like, I got to help tell a story. Like, I went and searched for props and got those that were included in the commercial. And the family was super nice and accommodating, and the crew was just it was a good time. And when working on productions, for me, that's really what I strive for. I love seeing a positive change or just putting a smile on other people's face. Thus, this channel. Now, on the opposite end of that, about 6 months ago, I did a job for
an undisclosed media company.
This job was for a home improvement TV show. And the first day I'd worked with them, super simple. Love the crew, the talent themselves, they were very nice. So when the production coordinator contacted me again and said, hey, we're filming again in a week. Do you want to hop on this set? I'd be like, heck yeah. Bring it on. So I arrived to the location. Thankfully, it was literally around the corner from where I lived at the time. It was
a U.S. federal holiday.
And it just so happened that was the first snow of the season. No worries though, we're filming inside. I mean, sure, we may have to move gear and stuff, but we planned for this. It's no problem. But waiting is often a big element for these jobs, so I get there early and I'm waiting, and I'm told there's another PA that I'm supposed to meet up with, and I'm pretty sure that they're there too because we're texting with the production coordinator. And turns out the production coordinator isn't going to be there at all. And that's fine. It wasn't really stated whenever I had accepted the job that was going to be like a pre-pro / prep day for the shooting days to come. But that's fine. I'm a professional. I'll roll with the punches. So the production coordinator is like, yeah, you'll be working with the interior designer and her assistant. And I'm like, okay, works for me, sure. Yeah, just go in and knock. My assistant will be there soonish. I think she's on her flight there. And I'm like, a flight? So I go into the house that we had filmed at before, and I open up the door, and there's two construction fellas there. And they look at me, and I look at them, and I said, hi. And they didn't say anything. And I'm like, I'm a PA for the day. And they're like, you can wait in here or you can wait in your car. And I'm like, this is a hostile environment. So I make the obvious choice and I go back in my car because I'd rather be cold sitting in my car alone than in a warm house with those guys. So eventually we find out that the interior designer isn't even going to be on location until halfway through the day. And I'm like, this is so weird. There's no camera team. There's no one. So we're just prepping, but I don't know what they need from us. But I'm kind of communicating with the other PA, but I don't know them. So we're both kind of like, I don't know what to do. Eventually, we find out that the assistant of the interior designer is flying in and should arrive by 9 a.m. And I'm like, dog, it's 7 a.m. Like, I know you booked us for a full 12-hour day and we're happy to do it, but also, what can we do in the meantime? And that's pretty normal. Often the line for production work is hurry up and wait. Eventually, we're finally given instructions for the other PA and I to go into the house and start messing around with, I think it was like a mattress or like a movement of a couch or something in the upstairs area. So the other PA and I, we go up and we're doing our job. We sneak past the construction guys because we don't want to talk with them. And I talk with the other PA and we're both kind of like, yeah, this is kind of weird how this is set up. But I mean, you know, like, a job's a job. We gotta do what we gotta do. And so it's just kind of busy work for the first couple hours of the job, which, you know, that's fine. That's pretty standard. And the assistant gets there and then she's like, I don't know why you guys are here. We're like, to get paid? I don't know. So the other PA and I are just trying to help out in any way that we can. We're like, okay, let's move some furniture. Let's rearrange this area. But the construction people are also working on the house while we're trying to do this. And so we're trying to like properly figure out, okay, can I be here? Am I safe here? Type of thing. And eventually the construction guys come up to the assistant and they're like, hey, do you need those PAs to do something busy? We can help them out. And I'm like, we're not working because we don't want to. We just don't have anything to do. We're happy to help out. See, but the problem is we weren't hired as construction PAs or anything like that. We don't have any licenses or anything like that. We're basically just two schmoes off the street. So they have us installing window panes, and the other PA and I are just kind of like, this is kind of shady because this home improvement show is supposed to be done by professionals, and we're literally following poorly written IKEA instructions. We're installing window panes and everything, and it's not hard work at all. Like, that is not why we were getting hesitant about it. We just hadn't signed any starter paperwork yet for the job itself, and you're supposed to do that before. And it's kind of a big deal if one of us were to get hurt, especially while doing construction. And we're like chatting with the assistant, and she's like, well, I'm not hungry. You guys can take a break if you want. And the other PA and I kind of look at each other and we're like, I mean, like, we're already doing this work. We might as well just go through until it's done and then take our break. So that's what we went with. But whenever we finished that task, another task presented itself and then another one. So like it started to get busier, which is good. But also it's kind of one of these things where it's like, legally, we need a half-hour lunch. So again, this is not me complaining about the workload or anything like that. It's just simply a cautionary tale. Eventually, the interior designer arrives and starts giving us more tasks to do. So the other PA and I go about our day. We finish a lot of the tasks and everything. And around 6 p.m., the assistant and the interior designer are like, hey, we need to go shopping. And the store is an hour away. So we're going to drive there, probably spend an hour shopping, then spend another hour driving back in the snow with traffic. So it's probably going to be like a 4-hour endeavor. You guys good to chill here? The other PA and I are just like, dog. The thing is, the other PA and I did not sign starter paperwork yet. And we also didn't sign liability waivers or anything like that. And we also weren't guaranteed overtime. So we're kind of just like looking at each other being like, I guess we're okay with this. So the two higher ups leave and the other PA and I are just like, what are we supposed to do? Because the construction guys have left. There's no more tasks for us to do. But they want us to stay there because there was a shipment from a box truck driving from Texas to where we were filming. And we apparently had to help them unload or at least lock up afterwards. So what ended up happening is the other PA was getting really frustrated by this and straight up calls the interior designers like, hey, I live on north side of Chicago. I'm dipping. And the interior designer's like, can you put Andy on the phone? And I'm like, yo, I'm out. I'm not in this. So the interior designer's like, can you stay? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I live around the corner. It's fine. This is what I had planned for the day. So I literally just hang out in this house by myself. So the truck arrives, they unload everything, and then I am staying in touch with the production coordinator during this whole time. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to lock up. There's nothing else that I can do. The interior designer and the assistant aren't even back yet. They haven't even left the store. So the production coordinator's like, okay, just lock up and then you'll be good. Thankfully, the owners of the house had mentioned that there was a backup pair in the basement. So I had to go down there, grab that, lock up the garage, lock the house behind it, and then when I went to put the keys in a little lockbox thing, it was frozen shut. So I put it in the mailbox and just left. I bring up this story basically to be like, hey, if something feels shady, it probably is. So just watch out for yourself, watch out for others. The epilogue to this story is 2 weeks later, I finally get the paperwork for liability. And the production coordinator's like, hey, can you please sign this? And I'm like, dog, why? And they're like, Yeah, so I've had a lot of fun working on production jobs. The unfortunate thing is right now, especially with the pandemic, recession, everything going on, productions are pretty much shut down. No one's really working, and if they are, it's working from home, so it's not really PA level stuff. So yeah, your boy is unemployed. Although production work has its own obstacles and challenges to overcome, at the end of the day, you're still working on a set. You're getting paid to make something, and that's just the coolest. So am I going to continue working in production work? I don't know. You definitely get a lot of stories and fun experiences out of it, but there's definitely no consistent schedule or anything like that, and you're really working around other people's schedules. In all honesty, I'm having such a fun time making these videos, and if there's a way that I can make this my full-time job, I think I'm going to try. Well, thank you guys for watching the video today. I hope you had a blast learning about sets. I've got a ton more stories like the ones I told you guys today, so if you're interested in hearing more, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll start brewing up some. I just launched my Patreon page, so if you guys liked what you saw today, if you like what I put out before, if you want to see more of it in the future, check it out in the description below. As always, I've been Andy, you've been Danny, and thanks for watching, guys. This is obnoxious.